Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Thanks for watching our last video. I hope you were able to have a basic understanding of a vertical RAS system for Mudcrab fattening. Well, this video is going to be informative but also quite lengthy because we want to cover as much. So please make sure to watch it till the end and do like, share and subscribe to our channel for more informative content on this topic. So I'm sure you guys like to order or prepare crab shak, shakuti, butter garlic, sukka, or just plain boil them because mud crabs are indeed very delicious and fun to eat. The activity of eating the mud crab is also very meticulous. So in this video, I will touch upon the following topics: meaning of RAS, recirculation aquaculture system, the meaning of mud crab fattening, the life cycle of a mangrove mud crab and the period when mud crabs are less meaty and should be generally avoided, the purpose and the advantages of our system over wild catch. So let's start with the first point of discussion. What is the meaning of RAS? So vertical mud crab RAS is an advanced aquaculture system designed for high density. It is space efficient farming of mud crabs by stacking multiple culture tanks or compartments vertically. We could have 500 crab box setup, or 1000 crab box setup maybe, or even a lower scale version of it, maybe 100 crab box setup, a 200 crab box setup. So this is a closed loop system which recycles water through mechanical and biological filtration, thus maintaining optical water quality while minimizing environmental impact. So the filtration system involves mechanical, biological, and UV sterilization. So as you can see in the pictures, the blue objects are the crab boxes or the crab houses where the mud crabs stay or reside in the aquaculture system. The main components of the RS system would be the pumps, the supply and the suction pumps, a main tank or a collection pool or a reservoir. Then there would be a sand filter like we normally have in swimming pools. We have a UV sterilizer. We have biomedia. Uh, Normally, we place the biomedia in a chamber where there is a lot of aeration. So the biomedia could be natural or artificial, like K1 or K5 media or MBBR. Uh, there are many types of biomedia basically. And then we have the pipeline, the PVC tubing, and the crab boxes basically. So these are the main components of vertical RAS. So the detailed description of every component of the RAS would be described and shared in future videos. So this was about the industrial or commercial scale aquaculture system. So the next topic I would like to speak about is mudcrab fattening. So what is mudcrab fattening? And why do we need to feed it in captivity? Well, the answer is nobody wants or nobody prefers to eat a mud crab that has very less meat content. When you buy mud crabs from local fishermen or when you order it in a restaurant, you definitely would like to see a lot of meat inside. And obviously, no one would prefer, like I said, to have a mud crab that is having no or very less meat content inside it. We hold a mud crab that is normally having less meat content inside it, or partial meat amount of meat content inside it, or even for that matter, if it's full of meat, we hold the mud crab in captivity for a period of 2 to 4 weeks, or sometimes longer, and we feed the mud crab with trash fish or mussels or uh, chicken meat, whichever is feasible and readily available. Uh, and we basically wait for the mud crab to increase its body weight. And the content of meat inside. So this ensures that each and every crab held in captivity in the system is full of meat at all times when it's ready for sale. Okay, so I think we should move on to the next point, that is the life cycle of a mangrove mud crab. So if you can see in the ongoing video, the mud crab is being fed with fish that's available in the local market, and as soon as we drop the feed, the mud crab kind of pulls the feed towards its mouth, and yeah, it starts eat it. So as you can see, these are the important stages in a mangrove mud crab's life cycle. The first one is spawning, the second one is ecdysis, the third one is post-molt stage, the fourth one is intermolt stage, and the last one is the pre-molt stage. Mature female mud crabs migrate offshore to designated spawning grounds. They release millions of eggs. Then the eggs hatch into larvae, which are carried by currents to other areas. And the larvae then undergo multiple stages of metamorphosis before becoming juvenile crabs. Okay, ecdysis or molting is the most important stage where the actual growth and increase in size of a mud crab takes place. In this stage, it develops a soft inner shell and sheds the old exoskeleton or its old shell, which is hard. This phase applies to all crustaceans, including shrimps and lobsters. Here, the body mass can increase by 50 to 70% of its original size. During this phase, the mud crab takes in water into its body, which causes the outer shell to expand and crack at certain points, making it easy for the crab's new body to slowly come out. And the mud crab tries to come out uh, with the claws last. Um, this process takes anywhere between 15 minutes to 1 hour, and we have seen this process happening many times, like live in our soft shell setup. As you can see in the pictures, I'll put a photo. So after shedding the old exoskeleton, the new one is soft and pliable. Mud crabs often hide during this stage to avoid predators because their body, the shell is soft, and uh, even a fish could attack and probably kill it. So the new exoskeleton gradually hardens over a period of time. Like it can start to harden right from maybe 12 hours after the molting has happened, and over the next few days to weeks, depending on environmental conditions and the species or the breed of mud crab, the shell can start to harden. So how it hardens is it absorbs the calcium, magnesium, the minerals from the water it lives in, and it uses these minerals to harden its shell and for its overall metabolism and development. So generally, soon after molting, if you try to consume this kind of a crab that has just molted, maybe it's got few days after it had molted, there will be less or very negligible amount of meat inside it. So this is the time when you actually find the crabs that have very less meat inside the body, and they are generally not preferred. And I would say we need to let those crabs grow until they gain some body weight. So moving on to the intermolt stage, the crab resumes normal activities, feeding and growing as usual, hunting, scavenging. So this period lasts until the next pre-molt stage begins, and this cycle keeps repeating throughout the lifespan of the crab. So from the intermolt stage to now the pre-molt stage. So during the pre-molt stage, the mud crabs prepare for the shedding of their exoskeleton. They reabsorb calcium from the old shell and store it for the new one. And there are visible signs of the pre-molt, which include reduced activity and appetite, as well as a softer exoskeleton. Then we normally see some kind of white spotting on the carapace. There is reduced feeding activity during the pre-molt stage. Basically, the crab is preparing its soft inner skeleton so that it can get ready for the molting stage. So during this time, it feeds as much as it can, but just 3 or 4 days before the actual molting day would come, it completely stops the food intake. And we can definitely see a behavioral change in the mud crab during this time of pre-molting. Now let us speak about the relation of mud crab molting with the lunar cycles. times of the month or the period of the lunar cycle when mud crabs are molting, or when the mud crab should be not consumed or avoided. Okay, so the mud crab molting often coincides with the lunar cycle, particularly during the full moon. So the full moon in Hindi we call it Purnima, and we call the new moon, that is the dark moon or no moon. We call this as Amavasya. Okay, so during the full moon or the Purnima, the catching of the crabs during this period can result in lower quality meat, because mud crab molting often occurs during this time. So crabs that are just caught just after molting during this period have a soft shell and, like I explained earlier, very less or watery meat content. So now let's go through the advantages of the system one by one. So the first point is this system provides a means of stocking and reserving the mud crabs. Any unsold crabs from local sources, or the ones we catch up by ourselves or we source from the local market, can be easily accommodated and their life can be prolonged, which means the stock of mud crabs with us is readily available. The second point is the content of the mud crab meat will always be higher as compared to the wild catch, because each and every mud crab entry and the exit from the system, this log is maintained and tracked regularly. So we know how long a mud crab has spent in the system with regular feeding. And if a crab happens to molt somehow, then we monitor its hardening until it has completed its next fattening period. The method of checking this will be shared in future videos. The third point is the flavor profile. So by changing the type of feed, the flavor profile of the meat of the mud crab is believed to change. If lean meat is desired, the crab should be fed with less proteinous or fatty food, and also it tends out to get a little sweeter, the meat. And if you like what they call crab butter or more, if you like the raw or the yellow stuff from the crab more, then it should be fed with a higher proteinous or fat content feed, and definitely it yields a different result. The fourth point is, if a crab happens to mold, like I said, in the crab box, we can either freeze it immediately before it completes 12 hours and preserve it as a soft shell crab. And this soft shell crab has a separate demand in the market. Mostly we find this in Southeast Asian restaurants, Korean restaurants, Thai restaurants, authentic Asian restaurants. They serve soft shell crab, so there's a separate demand and market for these crabs in the soft shell state. Or we continue to feed it again until it fattens up inside. So only this time it will have higher body mass and bigger claws and bigger carapace because it has molted. And earlier, like I said, when a crab molts, it automatically increases its body weight and size by 50 to 70%. So to sum it up, these were all the advantages that our system has. So here we come to the end of this video. We are very thankful to our viewers for all your time and your patience. We request you to please continue to support us in our journey, and we promise that we will keep posting good and informative content for you time to time. Please mention your comments in the comment section and we will be very happy to reply ASAP. So until next time, see you.